Hello everyone and welcome back to Behind the Trowel, the Great British Dig with the on and off screen team. Apologies for our tardiness once again, but we wanted to have a full house as we went live. And also it's just lovely to catch up because it's been a hot second since we've seen Michaela. So without, I'm getting notifications already. This is great. So I think first off, let's have quick introductions, just in case it's your first time tuning in. Hello, I'm Natasha Billson. I'm one of the co-presenters on the Great British Dig, and there's commercial field archaeologist, which is my background archaeology-wise. Michaela, who are you? And what's
Hello. So my name is Michaela Hume. I'm a lecturer in history from the University of Birmingham. I'm also a genealogist, a 19th century expert, and I spend my time finding dead people.
Pretty much like what we do in different ways, I guess. But yours is like you have to go and you actually find the people and you can put a name to them.
Literally, yeah, which is great. You know, I love that side of the job. So I have the side when I work with you, when I'm doing all the history stuff, and then I have the side where I'm finding people's ancestors. So it's just win-win.
It is win-win. And what other shows have you featured on?
So if you've seen Who Do You Think You Are, I was on Who Do You Think You Are. If you've seen DNA Journey, you'll see me because I'm the regular expert on DNA Journey. So I'm on most of those. I'm currently, as we speak, on a program in Sweden. I know that's how far I get, folks. And I got to work with a chef, and it was the best gig I've ever done because he just kept cooking me amazing food. And I was talking about his family history while getting fat. It was unbelievable.
I don't even know what to say.
I'm in the wrong job.
Like a dream.
Exactly.
Oh, Chris Scott, who are you? What's your role on the show?
My name is Chris Scott. I am the archaeological consultant for the Great British Dig. So I work behind the scenes, designing the archaeology that we do, and setting out the archaeology that we do, and on the show, managing that. And I go all the way from finding the sites that we work on the show, all the way through to kind of sorting out and helping to manage the post-excavation works after the end of the show, kind of writing up all the archaeology that we do.
Also, I'd say that Chris is like Papa Bear, you know, he's got all our backs, he's there, you know, to offer support. Like, as she started talking, I was like, is that Papa Bear?
I like that nickname. That should stick.
That should stick.
It's a nightmare.
I know you shouldn't have favourites, but he's my favourite on both series I've done. He's my favourite. I love you, Chris.
Thanks, Michaela.
And then we have, last but not least, Mr. John Henry Phillips.
Yeah,
that's good, right?
Yeah,
I could do that. I could do boxing.
That was all right. Yeah. Do I introduce myself? That was quite a.
If you want to.
Yeah, I'm John Henry Phillips. I am a presenter on the show, author of The Search, star of a smash hit documentary No Roses on the Sailor's Grave, cult classic. That's about it, really. I might take my hair down though. I look a bit like an egg. Let me try
Let's match it for Bognor Regis, shall we? It's got to be a bit more.
It's freshly washed though, so it's a bit. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Okay, yeah. I feel happy now.
There we go. So hopefully we will be joined by some other team members. However, everyone is on various excavations around the world, and we don't know how the Wi-Fi is. As you all saw, I was in London and my Wi-Fi connection just went down during the rain. So anything's possible with the internet. But anyway, we will go on. So first of all, for those who have watched the show, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the chat box over on YouTube, as this is a live Q&A and we want to answer your questions, and hopefully we can. And if not, we'll find a way and we will reply back to you. So let's say hello to, we've got Steve and Rosie. Hi, nice to see you both back on the live stream. Rosie, how does it feel? You saw yourself on TV. Did you like it? I think it was great. It showed a little snapshot of how it was for that week. But did it show the weather conditions? Do you feel like it showed how much rain we had? Michaela's like, no.
Oh my goodness. It was absolutely chucking it down. And I feel that I'm going to have to go back to Bognor because I didn't get the full Bognor experience because of the rain. So not like I'm into sea bathing, folks, really, but we couldn't go in the sea because it had been raining. And apparently when it rains, it's not the best place to swim. Let's just say that. So had it have not been raining, I'd have probably given it a go with the old sea bathing. But because it was absolutely chucking it down and people were telling me what potentially, you might be swimming with, it just put me off. So I do feel that I'm going to go back to Bognor when the weather is a bit better.
I mean, weren't we there in September?
It was September.
Yeah.
You know what? It was just a really funny time, wasn't it? Because what the viewers won't know when they watched it is we actually filmed that during the week that the Queen died. So it was a very sort of surreal experience, I think, to be filming during that week. And I know like some of the crew weren't sure whether they were going to be called off and have to go and sort of cover what was happening. So it was just like a bit of a strange week. But for me, and I've done the tent a few times now, we had one of my favorite finds by a mile.
Oh, what's this find? What was your favorite find? Was it the same as mine?
I'm going to see if you can guess it. Go on.
It must be the same. The toilet?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
That was a great.
And Hannah, oh my goodness, Hannah's face. It was like, I don't know, Father Christmas had just bought her like the biggest bar of chocolate ever. She was ecstatic with that loo.
I think it was even more fun telling like the local residents and the school kids what it was. That was the highlight, actually, their reactions, not knowing what it was. I remember one lady being like, I was just holding that in my hand. What? They're just gonna go, they're like, I'm just holding that. What do you mean it's a toilet? I thought it was a bowl. And I was like, well, it is a bowl, just a different type. So, John Henry, what was your favourite experience actually during that dig?
Favourite experience during that dig.
I mean, you had quite a cool trench, didn't you? You had the bay window.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Bay window. I think yours was the first trench, right? To get the foundations.
I think so. Yeah. It was all a bit of a blur because it was my first time filming the show.
I was going to say, was it your first time? And when you first came in and you met us all, obviously when you saw me, you thought, oh, she's cool. I want to talk to her. But like, what was your first impressions, I suppose, like when you met us?
Just thought, what have I got myself into, really? It's just, wow, I have to call my agent and complain about this. No, it was great. Everyone was very nice. I met Tash and Chloe in the hotel the night before, in the reception, I should clarify. So we had a little chat about how the show went down and stuff, but it was still like a real in at the deep end thing the first day. And the whole episode, really, because everything, like even when we do like the tent scenes and there was like the off the bits where we go off. I did a few of those with Hugh that didn't make the cut. So yeah, it was just like a whirlwind, really. But everyone seemed very nice. It was great.
Back watching diggers and all sorts of stuff on minute one.
yeah, and just in the trenches, deturfing. I hadn't done that in a while. That was lush to do again.
Deturfing.
That was good. I put in a real shift on the deturfing, actually.
Can I just say, for the non-archaeologists that are listening and that are part of this chat, what is deturfing?
It's when you take the turf off.
Yeah. And you go
it's literally that.
Yeah, it's literally. Well, you were not there. You were lucky. We probably would have asked you to come and help us.
What I love the most about the deturfing, though, is when we put it, God, this is boring chat, but when we put it back in at the end, normally it doesn't go in that good, but there was the biggest gap in the middle of it that made absolutely no sense whatsoever. It was incredible. It was like a crater in the middle. I don't know, it must have been nicking the turf overnight or something.
I think it shrunk, didn't it? Because it was actually, apart from the wet weather, we had some really, really hot weather. It dried out, the turf shrunk, and we left a hole in the football pitch.
But we fixed it, don't worry.
We fixed it. We sorted it
out. The kids were happy. They were a great sport actually throughout the whole experience. They were scary at times. We were all scared during our lunch break, their lunch break, not ours, theirs, and their tea break, because we'll be like, oh no, like they're coming. Quick.
John Henry got about 10,000 helpers, I think, in his trench.
I did. Signed a few autographs, and I was like, the show's not even aired yet. You want to ask the ones who are already in it? Signed so many posters with Richard's face on. I should have signed him as Richard. I should have. A load out there, just John Henry written over Richard. So yeah, no, the helpers were great. You know, I really enjoyed watching this episode back, actually, because, like I say, it was quite a whirlwind filming it. And in my head, it was sort of one where I was, not that I wasn't looking forward to it, but I was thinking, oh, I reckon I'll be able to tell that I was a bit like nervous doing it. But actually, you know what? I think it might be my favorite episode. I really, really enjoyed watching it back. And I think that just the vibe of it, you know, with all the kids being so happy and all the helpers we had, and just the sort of like, I don't know, the jolly nature of the whole thing being by the seaside and stuff. It was such a nice thing to watch back, I think. So it's gone down as my new favorite, that. I must say. Yeah.
Big one. Big call.
Something you're right though, there was the vibe, like the kids, man, they were so cute. But do you remember there's that one scene in the episode where it's like a drone footage and you see all the kids running onto the pitch? That's how it felt like.
That happened.
Break. That did happen. That was real.
Every day.
But at least these people at home would see just like a snapshot of how it was. Like, I think it's the most people we've ever had, right, on a site actively with us, which has made it quite fun.
Well, we had them come through in phases, didn't we? So I think surely we must have had like thousands of kids in at some point. I remember, like, there's the scene where I'm saying about that the kids that have been my helpers, but they were just like one line of kids that had just been coming through for hours. So I think the whole of Bognor's youth came through that playing field during that week, which, you know, good for them. I hope they had a great time.
Yeah,
you never know. Maybe they'll have like an archaeology program in Bognor with all these kids. You never know.
They do, yeah. It's called the Great British Dig, and it aired on last Thursday, actually.
You know what though, we do joke, but that is, you know, wouldn't it be great if even just one of them kids goes, you know what, I fancy doing that. You know what, I fancy giving that a go, you know, and that would be great. And if you want to study it, come to me at the University of Birmingham. I'll see you in 10 years' time. Shameless plug.
But Chris, for you, how was this experience? As I said, we had a lot of volunteers this time. So navigating that with obviously running the archaeological works on time, how was that experience for you?
Do you know, like John Henry said, I really loved this one for the community aspect of it more than just about anything else, because I think it wasn't just the loads of helpers we had on site, which amazing, brilliant. So many people at the end of the show. There's a bit where obviously all you guys are talking to the community about all the kind of stuff we found. That was flooded with folk, absolutely flooded with folk. And then, like John was saying, all week, loads of people, which was brilliant. But we also, I really loved the scenes. Obviously, well, I love every scene with Michaela in, obviously. But but in particular, this episode, Michaela took Hugh on a bit of a whistle-stop tour of Bognor, going around various parts of it. It really felt like we got out there and all around Bognor, both people coming in to dig with us, but also Michaela and Hugh going out and looking at all different bits of kind of Bognor's heritage out beyond the site and telling the sort of wider story. So it was just a lovely programme for me in terms of how we got about the place, both bringing people in and talking to lots of people, but also getting out there and seeing different bits of Bognor, which I thought was lovely.
Can I ask you a question, Chris? When it comes to picking the sites, what was it then about Bognor that you thought that'll make a good TV show?
Two bits. One was we got a Tony, who I thought absolutely stole the show. Tony, the head governor, was just brilliant. Wrote a letter to the show, asking if we could come and dig up his school field, which I think must be a pretty one-off big move for a chair of governors to go why don't you come and dig up the running track? Everyone will be fine with it, honest. So that was lovely, and I thought that would that's such a lovely thing that we had to sort of take a look at it. And then the other thing for me, my like KPI, my main target on the Great British Dig is to make sure that we find stuff.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It would be a rubbish show if it was just John Henry talking about what might or might not have been here and not finding anything.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe not actually, but
it would still get the viewing figures.
He wouldn't like more of
He'll
that.
get his guitar out and start singing.
Yeah. He'd make it work.
Yeah.
But when we looked at the site, and obviously this is sort of explored a bit in the show, but when you actually look at that football pitch, the school field on Google Earth, you can, other platforms are available. You can see you can see the outline of the house in the school playing field. So I was kind of right from the off really convinced we were going to get that the kind of stuff of the house. So for me, that it was a really good site, and you've instantly with the school got a great community there already to kind of engage with. So it ticked lots of buttons, kind of ticked lots of boxes for the kind of stuff we're after, really.
I do have a slight moan though.
Everyone does.
Because I have been asking Chris for how long ago? What, a year and a half to find me a lunatic asylum. And he's just not produced.
No.
Listeners, watchers. So hopefully if anybody knows.
Are we still allowed to call it that?
Well, I think you are, because technically it was called that during the period that we'll be digging. So I wanted a Victorian lunatic asylum. And
prison wasn't enough for you?
The prison didn't do it, even though, what was that guy called? Was it John?
Devizes, yeah, John. So
was it John at Devizes? He was a legend, wasn't he? He's going to go down, out of all the people I've ever met in telly, he's up there. He's up there with Michael Burke for me. Because he was just
Googling that, hold on.
Yeah, wasn't he just fabulous? So he lived on the estate that Devizes prison is now underneath, and he'd done so much research. Was it for about 50 years, Tash? He'd been like researching.
50 years. Yeah, he's got all, I don't know what to class it as.
There was nothing he didn't know about that prison.
No, he had any bits of evidence that he could find from the prison. He would find it, auction houses. If somebody would dig in their back garden, they would call him over to have a look, to retrieve anything.
I mean,
it was
owing to the fact that people are probably having their dinner right now. I won't tell you some of what his belt was made of, put it that way. But he used to walk around with a carrier bag, and in this carrier bag, he had made, I'm not even joking, the whole gallows, didn't he? And if you kind of like flicked the gallows, the person's head fell off. So he'd made like a model gallows, which was impressive, don't get me wrong, tad worrying, but it was impressive. But he's definitely one of my favorite people that we've had on the Great British Dig, and I'm sure that if you haven't seen the Devizes episode, you'll probably be able to watch it on like More For Catch Up or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I can't remember which episode. I feel like it's season 3, episode 4. I'm just going to check.
Oh my goodness, if you know that,
why would I know?
If you know that, I would be so impressed.
Or maybe episode 2. I just don't know. Let me just check. I don't know why I would know that. I mean, I do know why I would know that. If I'm making like random promo stuff.
While Tash is Googling, what a great host. What was the belt made out of? I think we should definitely talk about it.
No.
I don't know. I haven't seen the episode, so I can't.
Really, no. It's I will private message you now.
You know what? Just write it out in the chat. The public can't see that. Right in the chat.
Okay. I'm going to do
Sorry, series 2, episode 3. Devizes, which is where we're looking for a 19th century prison. Yes. We also did a workhouse. I really liked that series filming because we got to see a contrast of different time periods, and really workhouses were basically a prison as well. So it was interesting to see a contrast in that. So it'd be nice to see another element, and obviously just have more possibilities to have Michaela on the show, because she's amazing. We love having her. Except one gripe that we all have with Michaela from Bognor Regis is that her and Hannah, so Dr. Hannah Russ, who's the fine specialist, they went for a sneaky ice cream without any of us.
Good Lord.
Listen, we're not being funny. We went for more than an ice cream. We went for a dead posh meal.
Wait, what?
Honestly, we went to I don't know where it was, some really nice, like, quaint village somewhere. Yeah. And we ended up going for this, like, beautiful meal. Soz, I don't know where you guys were, but we were living the dream. While you guys were like getting muddy, we were like on a la carte.
Part-time presenters.
Yeah.
Oh no, what have I done? 1 second. I was trying to share my screen there for some reason. Ignore me. Oh wow, I just read the chat. Sorry. Where were we? Yeah, so they had an ice cream. Let's just go with the ice cream, okay? But did the bathing hut make the edit? It didn't, did it?
Oh, this is worth talking about, really, because this was probably one of the most incredible bits of legacy that the show has ever produced. In that Tom, big up to Tom, who's the director for this episode. Tom Olney, who did the most incredible
Tommy Olney.
Yeah, did the most incredible job of finding the last bathing machine on this entire part of the south coast of England, got it out of long time storage where it had been unappreciated for a long time, and managed to get it moved to a new home at Bognor Museum in a place that had been made for it. There it is. Thank you. Lovely original piece of Bognor's heritage. Got it moved into the museum in a place put aside for it and everything, and it's now on display there. I think he nearly had a meltdown trying to arrange it between many district councils, borough councils, volunteer groups, the museum, whatever. I've no idea what was involved, but I know it was weeks of work, and it didn't make a cut.
It's in the museum at least.
We filmed a scene, like we closed a part of Bognor seafront.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
Tash and I had fish and chips and watched it all happen.
You got yeah.
We did.
I didn't get fish and chips neither.
No, you were busy.
Honestly, Chris, you've just missed out on the experience that we've all had.
Yeah.
Isn't it a privilege, isn't it? You can just waltz around.
Unbelievable.
I think I'll have some fish and chips now.
Yeah, I've been done here. But
it's such a shame, though, isn't it, that it didn't make the cut? If you are sort of into your 19th century history, or you like watching shows such as like Sanditon, you will see sea bathing machines. They are a great invention that that enabled people, especially the well-off, to be pulled out to sea and go for a little dip in their costumes.
Yeah, such a shame that didn't make it in. But I mean, there's so many stories. That's kind of part of the problem. I think with this episode, there was actually loads to say. Like, especially you and I, Michaela, went sort of talked ages about all the different residents of the house and all this. You could have literally made another Who Do You Think You Are, or what's the David Olusoga show?
House Through Time.
House Through Time. We could have made it 3 different shows in the one place.
Yeah.
But there's such a lot to say that in 45 minutes of TV, there's kind of a lot of things didn't make it.
From a historian's perspective, though, I loved it because a lot of what I do, and I think it stems really from my past and what I'm interested in, because you guys know I've done my family history. I tend to do a lot of like working class urban history. So, the sorts of stuff like, for example, prisons and workhouses and all the rest of it. So to actually do something and research something that wasn't that was really nice. And I like had the whole sort of Bridgerton, Jane Austen experience. I was looking at newspapers, looking at who was being announced in the newspaper, who was coming for the season, you know, what was going on, where the balls were. I was literally, if they'd given me some sort of period costume, I was there. I was floating around in, you know, in my period costume. It was fantastic. If you've just heard a big sigh, by the way, it wasn't me, it was the dog. I just did the most horrendous sigh.
You show the dog.
He's already humped my arm twice, John Henry. So me and Henry, like, because John Henry has just the most amazing dog, I just spend most of my time liking all his Instagram pictures.
He's downstairs, actually. I'd bring him up. Should I?
You've
No,
lost control here, Tash.
I'd have to take him down again. He is cute though.
Dogs all over again. Okay.
I might get him.
Okay, well, you do that. Go
Yeah.
on. You can go do that. You can answer the next question. So I'll ask a question that Rosie had. There was two things. One thing I wanted to add was for the bathing hut, that wheel was literally like my height. It was massive. So I'm like, what, 5'1.5"? It must have been like 5 foot. I don't know. I feel like maybe it was a little bit taller than that. I can't remember, but it was massive. And yeah, that was good fun. Now, there was a comment that Rosie had said, oh yeah, how was the health narrative chosen for the episode? So if I remember correctly, we have mainly the voiceover is Hugh talking about, I guess, the sea and the element of health. Because health tourism was a thing even then, isn't it? You'd go to the seaside.
Here's my dog.
Yeah, so every episode, and I'm sure Chris will agree with me in a minute, has to have what we call a story arc, right? So it needs to go somewhere. It needs a focus. And I think what you guys try to do, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong here, is try and take a specific angle, maybe something that's not been done before or something that makes the show a bit different. And also, don't forget, we are looking, things are coming up out of the ground, aren't they? So I think that as well shapes this story arc, shapes the narrative. Chris, have you got anything to add?
I think one of the things was that we had such a great resource in the lovely people from Bognor Museum, for a start, who kind of in the show was the lovely scene with Michaela talking to Hugh about the fantastic plan of the development with our house on it that we saw. But also they were just so brilliant that they had such an interesting collection of material from Bognor that talked about Bognor's sort of wider history, that I think we thought it'd been a real shame not to use some of that. So there was that. And I think also kind of giving a bit of wider context to why people were going to Bognor, really, because it wasn't one of the interesting things. Again, Michaela looked at a lot at the history, the census history of the house, but quite clearly a lot of the time it was people who weren't there all the time. And in a sense that it was unusual as a house in that way, or how a lot of people I think would think about that building being used. It wasn't that people were there all the time. And even in fact, in the census, you could see that at times you had servants living in that lovely great big house on their own in the census. So I think it just gave a bit of context, I think, to how it was used, what it was used for, and why. And that was a sort of wider element of its history, that it actually it was a place for fun and recuperation and kind of gaining health benefits or perceived health benefits, rather than just a house where people lived. It had more going on than that, and parties, of course, which did come up in the episode.
And I think one thing sort of follows on from another. So first, obviously, it's for medicinal purposes. People are going because they want to escape the cities, and they want to get fresh air, and they want to, do sea bathing and all these things that's supposed to be good for them. And then it then turns into more of an entertainment place. So, it's a place where people go and it's entertainment. So it kind of starts off as one thing and then evolves into something else. And I think we covered that pretty well, actually. But I think it was important that we stressed that at the beginning, you know, you did go there to get the sea air and feel good, and natural remedies, you know, were the thing of the time. So yeah, so I think we covered that really well, and I think it is a big part of Bognor's history, and we couldn't not talk about the health benefits of Bognor.
Yeah.
Even though now, don't go in the sea if it's raining. That's what I've been told.
I won't ask why.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to know why, but I think I know why. So let's move on. So we've covered our favourite finds, and actually really this episode was more about the structure, which was just fantastic to get in every single trench. I think we were 20 centimetres below ground level, and bam, the structure is there. We've looked at the artefacts, the people. What else? In general, actually, has anyone got any highlights from the episode?
Hugh's dog. Why haven't we spoke about Hugh's dog?
Oh yeah, Hugh's dog was there as well. Yeah.
It was a bit like, you know, when you're in primary school and you see a dog in the playground and you're like, oh my goodness, there's a dog in the playground. It was a bit like that for me. I was like, there's a dog on set. Whose is this dog? And it was Hugh's dog. Hugh's got the most amazing dog.
Yeah.
And as soon as I knew that he was a dog lover, he went right up in my estimation. As if it just can't get any higher now. I'm a real fan. I'm a Hugh fan.
I'm a Hugh fan.
Yeah.
That reminds me, John Henry, is your dog still there?
No. No, does it look like he's still there?
I don't know. Sitting on the bed.
No,
I have a question that I know are the people watching this are going to want to know. So John Henry said he was going to be a bit late today because he was eating a curry. I would like to know specifically what curry that is.
Oh, you know what? It was a really it was like quite a non-spicy one, you know, like a sort of korma thing. Just an easy little, you know, like that. You know.
Really,
So,
that's not a great photo. I mean, it's just rice and peas and a bit of sauce. Where?
right. What are you, some sort of curry doctor? What are you talking about?
I just like, what is
Curry doctor.
the photo of that? Like, there's nothing. Is this you eating like at the end? Wait, did you put that in our chat? Is that why? Did I miss this? Did you send this to us?
We don't have a chat. Yeah, it's just I just took a picture of my dinner. What's wrong with that? That's what the internet used to be for, remember?
That's true.
That's true.
That
Yeah, everybody just used to take pictures of their food.
Exactly, and now it's like it's Tash just on Instagram, drunk all the time, isn't it? Every post, drinking.
I like to bring a bit of humour to archaeology and history. Let's revive drunken history, but by
was that one you were doing last night? You were in a toilet somewhere, weren't you?
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Was
was
it like archaeology in a toilet or something?
Literally.
Yeah, it was. I actually was supposed to make that as a story, but it ended up posting it. But it's fine. So Chris, because Chris hasn't seen this, I can tell. I was in the toilets of Flatiron in Tottenham Court Road, and I just was there, and I was like, oh, I see something structural in the corner. So it looks like remnants of the foundations that were actually blocked out in the Victorian phase. They've blocked out with Victorian paneling. And I was like, great. And then we just make a quick, like, archaeology is everywhere, even in the toilet. And that was that. Yeah, that was my reel for yesterday. I got a post reel every day, you know. I'm trying to be consistent.
You know, if we think about the Great British Dig, folks, is there anything, I'm just thinking about like what I've learned from being on the show, right? So I am not an archaeologist. However, I can now age a brick.
That's great.
Where do you go? Where do you go from there? I can age a brick, right?
Straight down, Michaela.
Listen, I can age a brick, right? But have you guys learned anything that you didn't know before you started the show from doing the show?
I learned loads about the time periods that Chris chooses for us. You know, I think it's like I think when you're an archaeologist, you soon learn from like going to Christmas parties or like family gatherings that everyone expects you to know literally everything about everything that's ever happened in history.
Isn't it just so annoying?
Yeah,
what do you know about the Tudors? Nothing.
Exactly. So it's nice to walk into these episodes and the places we're filming and literally learn stuff as we go along. I always come out knowing a lot more, and I like watching the shows back actually, because obviously you don't see a lot of the stuff that's happening. So even though I'm in them, I learn watching them back as well, which is always a fascinating thing. So
Yeah,
I do learn lots, especially when you're working with someone as clever as Chris, the archaeology lord.
Isn't he? You know what? He doesn't get like enough credit, does he? And I hope, because this is the only one that I'm going to be doing of this series, because I was only in that one because it's my period. But I hope that Tash and John Henry and everybody else has been really giving you credit, Chris, for finding these amazing places and just I just want you to know that you are appreciated, mate.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's all right.
All the scenes.
They've literally not mentioned it.
To be fair though, Chris, like as much as
That's not true. That's not true.
As true as that is, they are always suspiciously close to your front door. So I don't want to give him too much credit.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, that's what I've learned a lot about the geography of the north of England over the course of filming this series.
Right. We went to Bognor and Cornwall, so I think I'm safe from that. I couldn't drive any further. As far from my house as it's possible to get. But,
you know what though? I love that, because a lot of shows don't tend to focus on the north as much as we do, and that's really great. And I love the fact, we go in people's back gardens, we go in normal people's back gardens. It's not some sort of big fancy dig somewhere that seems like so isolated from the general public. This is literally in your garden, under your dahlias. You don't know what's under there. Don't take your dahlias up, by the way. I'm a big dahlia fan. It's the wrong time. But you know what I mean? You just don't know, do you, what's under your grass? Like literally, we are on estates, normal estates for normal people.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things about the Bognor show, really, that was great for us, is that we were right in the middle of the town. And so for a site for this show and what we're trying to do really about kind of highlighting history and archaeology of the places where people live day to day, it couldn't have been a better site for that, really. It was right in the heart of the community there, and it had a community around it, not just the people that lived around it, and some of them helped, and some of those people are on the show. And in fact, one of the people that dug with us literally lived the other side of the wall. That's in the show, and you could see it out of her front room window, our dig site. So that was really awesome. And then of course all the kids and the teachers and everyone who got involved on this literally is there day to day. And so from a point of view of kind of what the show's about, really, I think you can get a better episode really for the story we want to try and tell.
And also it kind of aired at the perfect time, because now they're breaking up for some holidays. So hopefully they were able to watch it, maybe in class or in the hall, where that scene at the beginning, dig, like that was, we were not there, but wow, when they told
terrifying.
us, yeah, we were but when you're watching, like, wow, okay, this is like
I wonder they were so pumped up when they came out into the playground.
Yeah,
I didn't know that had happened. So like, there's context of how excited they were now.
Yeah,
literally just been like revving them up, and they're making them wait for their turn for days. So.
Yeah, I think I don't think the teachers really thanked you and going for that. Really, like pumping up the kids. Do you want to dig a massive hole or do you want to go to lessons? What a daft question.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Highlight, definitely.
So Chris, right, I know that this is the last, am I right by saying, Tash, this is the last one in this block?
So this is the last one in the block. However, we do have a really fun summary episode that goes I guess they call it the best. Is it the best of? The best of
Maybe
the
a best of show, yeah.
Yeah, which is filmed to highlight episodes prior to John Henry's involvement in the Great.
So don't tune in if anyone's. There's no point.
It's a great episode. Yeah,
Well, it's amazing.
it's a great episode. We get to go over some things, that we get to talk about things, kind of like what we covered in these live streams. We kind of get to address a little bit for this kind of wrap up episode.
I watched it being filmed, which made me feel very unimportant, stood in the sidelines. Watching Chloe and Tash, you film without me.
It was chucking it down in rain, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I did have a McDonald's breakfast just before. I was very happy. I was in a good mood.
Why did you have a McDonald's breakfast? Were you
I should pour it for me.
tired or hungry?
No, I was fine. I was happy, which is like a treat, isn't it? Like the last filming of the last everything.
Oh,
That was a treat. Yeah.
last filming day was it?
That was last filming day, wasn't it? You're making
Yeah.
me question now. It was, right?
McDonald's breakfast makes sense then, when you think about
Listen, you guys all had it as well. Don't even try it after carrying.
it.
Don't even go there.
Do we know, or when will we know? Because I know that there's going to be people watching this thinking, have they got another series? When will you know? When do you find out? Chris, are you like clocking up the miles? Is there something you want to tell us? You know,
I can answer that. I really have no idea.
okay.
Really have no idea. If you want to see more Great British Dig, write to Channel 4.
Right to Channel 4.
Yeah, do it.
And watch it, stream it.
Watch it, stream it.
Watch it again. Leave it running when you go out.
Perfect.
Actually, don't do that. No, that's really bad.
Especially with the price of electric at the minute. I wouldn't
Yeah.
recommend that one.
No, don't do
But
that.
no, get everybody to watch it. Write to Channel 4.
Yeah.
Nominate the show for an award. I don't know what a BAFTA would be great. I feel it's BAFTA worthy.
Which
Yeah.
one would be BAFTA worthy? Which one?
I suppose it's going to be the one where you made the best find, and that's me thinking like with an impact head on. It'll be the one where you've changed history, where you've found something where they've gone, oh my
do
god,
that every week.
I know.
Yeah, which I mean,
People the
there's
map.
only it's truly got to be either Devises, Workhouse episode that we did a really nice one in Oldham.
I'm in all of those.
Are you?
Yeah, I might win a BAFTA.
Just
Can
you.
imagine? Literally just me.
you, yeah.
I mean, I'm not just saying that the viewers for those shows skyrocket,
But they did.
but they do.
Yeah.
It's a sad fact. Where's Chloe, by the way? Because
I think she might be on an expedition right now. I
oh,
think
okay,
that's
fair
why.
enough. We'll let her
I
off.
think she's on a dig.
Hannah, have we heard from Hannah?
Hannah
All right.
is between digging abroad and in the UK, right?
Ah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's properly rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, living the dream, these lot, aren't they?
It's the season for archaeological exploration.
If anyone out there, if anybody out there wants to take me on a dig, I'd love to go on a dig. John Henry, are you not doing any digs?
No.
Oh.
I should be digging hopefully in September-ish, unless the show's filming. But yeah, my little non-profit that I've got, the Romany Community Archaeology
Okay.
Fit, hoping to finally dig in the New Forest then. We've been waiting for a while to get the sort of final permissions and stuff like that. But by all means, come along, hop along.
I could do some, you know that I've done quite a bit of Romany genealogy.
I do.
Traveller genealogy. I could see if we can find any records.
Yeah, you love that, don't you? You love records.
Love a record. Love a record. And there's nothing I love more than trying to do the family history of a Romany family, because it's notoriously difficult and I love a challenge.
Yeah.
And nobody has beat me yet. Yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Have you had any guests that have been better than me on your podcast yet?
No.
Okay.
So obviously you came on and you spoke all about the work that you've been doing, which is amazing. And then I've had genealogy, family history people on, talking about, how you do it, tricks and all that sort of stuff. So,
Very
yeah.
nice. Very nice.
We actually have a question in for John Henry. Who has been your favourite person from the series?
What the?
That's from Jessica.
Oh, hi Jessica.
Oh.
Who's been your favourite person?
Favorite person? What? Well, should we go for people I've worked with? Or yeah, but we meet loads of people, don't we?
We do, yeah.
Members of the public, maybe. Oof.
Maybe it's Jessica. I don't know.
No,
I put you on my podcast.
Well, I know, but I only met you for the one day, didn't I?
Second.
And then you left.
I like all your dog pictures, for God's sake.
That's true. That's true.
It's okay.
yeah,
It's me. It's fine. We know.
It's probably
Chris.
Chris. To be
Chris.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah. We love
Or obviously we had some great runners, didn't we? Great associate producers that were a laugh.
Yeah.
So it was nice to meet them. Where's Michaela gone?
Over the dog. It's
Does
going back.
she know this is live?
Yeah. Just that it's live. She's a pro.
Listen, it's either I sit here and pray that my dog does not do anything he shouldn't do on the mat by the back door, or I quickly run through the debris of a matchmaker's box, which he has ripped up while we've been chatting. Yeah, he is literally the naughtiest dog ever.
You missed
yes.
me saying that you're my favorite person to work with on the show.
Did you just say that?
Yeah,
I knew it.
yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Honestly, me and John Henry are like this. Honestly, we are like such good social media mates.
Oh, big time. Well, we've met in real life, haven't we? So
we have
friends now, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, he's like the cool, rock and roll one of the group, isn't he?
I am quite
He
cool.
is, isn't he?
Yeah. Can you hear the ice cream van outside my house? Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Steve would like to know, Michaela, what's the name of your podcast?
Oh, it's called Unearth the Past, and it's a family history and genealogy podcast presented by me, Dr. Michaela Hume. And this week we have the legend that is John Henry Phillips. I think I gave him that.
Really? You're on this week's one? That's so funny.
No, this week I'm actually finding, it's all going to go a bit serious. This week I'm actually trying to find somebody's biological dad. So I'm talking people, how they go about finding if they're missing a loved one, how they go about doing that using DNA and also paper records. So that's what I'm talking about this week. And guess who is coming on in a couple of weeks? If I say a workhouse, Peter Higginbottom.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And you guys know that I'm a massive Peter fan. I have all his books, like every single one of his books. And when we were doing research for DNA Journey and we were doing Alison Steadman's family tree, I reached out to Peter because he'd done quite a bit of work on mother and baby homes within the UK alongside his work on workhouses and also prisons. So I reached out to him and he was really helpful in providing me with some information when I was doing the research for that. So yes, I'm really excited to have him on. I'm going to try and play it cool, not go all fangirly like I did when I saw him.
Sorry, that's so loud.
In Oswestry.
Are you going to get him to sign his book for you?
He's already done it. He signed all 4. And I even asked for a photograph with him. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. You guys, if you watch DNA Journey, you'll know that I work with a lot of people that you would think of are celebrities. Nobody can even clean this guy's boots for me. Honestly, I was like, oh my God, can I have your picture? So yeah, I've got him. He's not my screensaver, but I'm tempted. Yeah, I love him.
That was like when I met Jonathan Foyle for the show. I do a lot of historic buildings work, and Jonathan Foyle's very cool.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
But on a serious note, if you've not checked out, if you are into workhouses and you are watching this, check out workhouses.org. That is Peter's website, and he has spent years just going round the UK writing the history of all the workhouses within the UK, and his knowledge on workhouses is fantastic. And he's done another website, I think, on prisons, which is really good, and he's also done another one on mother and baby homes. So so it is worth, if you're into your history, check out his website, workhouses.org.uk. Sorry,
I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the description below once this uploads. I'm just going to quickly see if we've got any more questions we can answer before we wrap up today's live stream. We did have a question. Where did it go? It was from Rosie, somewhere here. But actually, it was basically on the lines of, if we had extra time and resources, would we have put another trench in the field, and if so, where?
Always. Yeah. Just more digging.
There was talk one, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So
we genuinely do only have a week on site to do all the stuff that we do in the show. So a big part of my job is trying to get as much done as we can, but also sometimes kind of making a call that we don't have time to do some things that we'd have liked to have done. Here, one of the things that we didn't get a chance to look at was, although we sort of covered it in a different way, but what outside the back of the house, we know from historic mapping, was a coach house. But within that coach house, it's clear from some of the census stuff that Michaela was looking at as well, that was where some of the servants also lived, and their families lived in there too. So we really wanted to try and kind of do a little bit of investigating of that story as well, because we had names of all of those people, really, or a lot of them from the census stuff. They themselves had really interesting stories that come with families or kind of moved with families and all sorts of stuff. Really interesting kind of stories in and of themselves that we didn't have a chance to do, and I'd have loved to investigate that. I think have gone and seen what was going on out the back of the grand house, where normal people were kind of doing day-to-day things.
But no, it was such a fantastic dig. So thank you everyone who was able to come and see us whilst we were there. We had so much fun meeting every single person. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in today and asked all your questions. Hopefully we've answered the majority of them. And I remember, actually, Steve, I will answer this one. So at the end, Chloe asks Hugh to buy her an ice cream. And if memory serves, this is actually on site, right? So if it's on site, then no.
He did not buy her an ice cream.
He did not buy her an ice cream.
No.
Instead, we went and we packed up and we left. But at the beginning, the opening scene, we filmed when we were by the pier, and we walked and we met a lady who had a little shop there on the pier, and she gave us candy canes. So that was cool. Rock, not candy canes. What's it called? Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did film that opening scene with an ice cream, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, there's an ice cream cut where he's eating an ice cream.
Did we all eat ice cream then?
No, it's just you.
I didn't.
I did. It was absolutely lovely. I also, by the way, got a gift off you. Not saying he had a favourite, but you know.
What did you get?
Yeah, it was like a little pot, a little like pot sea bathing machine that we'd been given.
This is mad. I can't believe
we did go on a bit of a tour though of every sort of gift house and museum in Bognor.
Oh, I want one now. We did go to the charity shops.
I didn't.
Yeah, were you not there?
No, that was you and Chloe's thing. Yeah, that's where the hat came from.
Yeah, we got that hat. The hat that Chloe's wearing, we got from a charity shop in Bognor Regis. So we're supporting the local community as well.
Well, I went off and had a fried breakfast on my own one of the days as well. Yeah. Sorry, Chris.
Unbelievable! It's unbelievable. Ice creams, breakfasts, McDonald's.
You know what? Right? I can't remember which one we stayed in, but there was like a kebab shop in the car park. Do you remember? There was like like one of those, portable canteen places that sold kebabs. Honestly, it was just the best gig ever. I couldn't believe it.
What? Not in Bognor, was it?
No, I don't know if it was like Oswestry.
Oh.
I think it must have been Oswestry actually.
When we had a Subway right next to us.
That's it. And there was a kebab shop in the car park.
Yeah.
Like one of those hut places.
Little pop-up van things.
Yeah.
We all had to walk for like 20 minutes to go into the centre to have. It was one of our last. I can't remember where it was. I can see it, but I can't remember where it was. But we were in a really far place. Like we were all far away from each other. Like 45-minute drive, I think. Our accommodations. Anywho, Bognor was great, and we are at the 1 hour mark. I don't want to let anyone else hear us jabber on, even though now I do remember a few more things about Bognor. But anywho, oh well, that's for another time. Live stream wise, future live streams, we're going to have to organise one, hopefully for the summer episode, but we need to find a day that suits everyone, as it is basically summer holiday time now. So we'll get back to you shortly for that. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we will all see you at some point in the near future. Please like, share, follow the Great British Dig. You can watch it on Catch Up, etc., everywhere over on channel4.com, and I've left the link in the description below. So thank you so much for tuning in, and if you have any questions following this, leave them in the comment section below. Thank you. Bye.